There are Lego sets, and then there are Lego experiences. Sets that don't just take your time, they take a piece of your soul. Sets that change the way you see patience, creativity, and even yourself. For me, that set wasn't a spaceship, a castle, or even a Star Wars UCS model. It was the Eiffel Tower, a structure so massive, so absurdly elegant, so demanding, that by the time I finished it, I felt like a different person. I know that sounds dramatic, but when you spend days, it took me almost more than a week, assembling one of the most recognizable symbols on Earth, you start to realize this isn't just building, this is transformation. When you first open the box, you don't see Paris. You see 10,000 gray pieces and a thick manual, actually 3 of them, that feels like they could double as a phone book. There's a moment of silence when you pull out the first bag, because deep down, you know this is going to be the build. The one that pushes you, the one that tests your focus, your patience, and your table space. I remember staring at those first few pieces thinking, how in the world is this pile of plastic going to turn into something that's defined an entire city? And that's the magic of it. You start small, clueless, and maybe a little overconfident. But as each section stacks, you start to feel something shift. Not just in the model, but in you. Building the Eiffel Tower is humbling. You can't rush it. You can't force it. Every bag feels like a marathon, not a sprint. You'll build a perfect section, look down and realize you have 6 more hours to go. You'll think you're halfway done, then you flip the instruction page and see bag 29 out of 74. It's psychological warfare in the shape of a tower. But that's exactly what makes it special. You learn to slow down. You learn to trust the process. You learn that even when it doesn't look like progress, it still is. Somewhere between bag 20 and 50, something clicked for me. I stopped seeing it as a Troy and started seeing it as a reflection. The tower wasn't just rising piece by piece. I was too. Every late night at my desk, every piece that didn't quite fit, every time I wanted to quit but I didn't, it mirrored something bigger. It's funny because you don't expect a Lego set to teach you life lessons, but it does. You realize patience isn't just about waiting. It's about believing what you're doing matters, even when it doesn't look like it much yet. The build gets taller, heavier, and more intimidating. You're not just building at this point, you're engineering. The structure becomes so tall, you have to stand up, lean over, and hope it doesn't wobble too much. You're reaching up to the clip in pieces, like you're fixing a radio tower. It's ridiculous, but it's also beautiful. Because by the time you reach the top, you're not just finishing a Lego set. You're finishing a journey. And when you place that final antenna, that's where the weird silence. You've just climbed something monumental. It's a 5-foot tall symbol of persistence sitting in your bedroom whispering, "You did it." But what really changed me wasn't the finished product. It was what came after. I'd look at the tower in the corner of my room, and every time it reminded me of something bigger than Lego. It reminded me that you don't need instant results to create something extraordinary. The greatness takes time. The best things you'll ever build in Lego, in life, in anything. Start with confusion and end with clarity. This tower wasn't just a model. It was a mindset. And yeah, it's kind of wild to say a Lego set changed my life. But it did. Not because it's fancy or expensive or complicated, but because it reminded me that creation is supposed to be hard. The frustration is part of the reward. The beauty comes from repetition, and purpose comes from patience. Every little stud I placed felt like proof that progress doesn't have to be loud. It just has to be consistent. When people walk into my room now, they always say the same thing. "Dude, that's insane." And yeah, it is. But it's also personal, because that tower represents a mindset I didn't have before. The mindset that says, I can build anything, no matter how big, if I just start. It's not about the tower anymore, it's about everything it taught me. I used to think Lego was just a hobby, something fun, something I did because it made me happy. But after the build, I realized it's something deeper. Lego is storytelling, it's persistence, it's life in plastic form. The Eiffel Tower set changed the way I looked at obstacles. It showed me that every big thing, every dream, every project, every tower is really just a pile of small pieces waiting to be connected. Now, when I see the Lego Eiffel Tower in my room, I don't just see a Lego set. I see hours of focus. I see the nights I stayed up when building when I could have been doing something else. I see patience that I didn't know I had. And I see proof that you don't need to be in Paris to stand under something extraordinary. You just have to believe you can build it. So yeah, this Lego set changed my life because it taught me that the best things you'll ever create don't happen fast, easy, or perfect. They happen one piece at a time. With focus, with mistakes, and with a vision that only becomes clear when you keep going. And that's not just how you build Lego, that's how you build yourself.